and welcome to Tracy Momi Reads. Today I am back with another book review, and I'm really excited about this book. Last week I did a book that I had read a while ago because I have been working on editing my new release that will be coming out in October, so I hadn't been reading as much, but I was able to get through 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. 7 Days in June. I have been a fan of Tia Williams since she came on the scene. I remember following her Shake Your Beauty blog back in the day, read her book, Accidental Diva, and even her two young adult books, The It Chicks. And I love her writing style, and she has like this sarcastic sense of humor, very quick-witted. And I love all the pop culture references she makes, even like on her Instagram page. So a few years back, she came out with another book called The Perfect Find, which was incredible. So when I saw, first start seeing ramblings of a new book, or, people talking about she had a new book coming out, I was really excited. So purchased 7 Days in June, and it did not disappoint. As always, let me get my notes. Now, before I get started, I will say, while I love the book, and I'll get more into that, I think that she should have had some trigger warnings, because the book is about a couple, Eva Mercy and Shane Hall, and they're both writers, and they have a history, right? They meet present day at an event, not meet, but kind of re-meet or reunite at a present day at an event, but come to find out they have a history together. When they first met, they were like teenagers, like 17, 18 years old. And they were both very damaged, very broken. There was a lot of things that went on during the time when they met back in their, later teen years. And it kind of alludes to the title of the book, because when they met, they spent 7 days together, like just, attached at the hip. It was like 7 Days in June, 15 years prior to when the book starts. And there are flashbacks, kind of detailing what went on during those 7 days. And like I said, there should be some trigger warnings for stuff that both of them went through during that time. Not things that it was stuff that they were doing together, but when they both met and came together, they were obviously very damaged and had some horrible things happen, and they were, there was some mention of drug use, self-harm, things like that. So, it's hard for me to talk about triggers and not telling you what they are. But even with that, the book, it's really good. It's really good. And let me see my notes here, what I want to talk about. There was just so much that's relatable in the book with regards to references that she makes. And I don't know if it's because, we're kind of same age or same generation, or, we're both Black women. I don't know that everybody will get, the references or the things that she talks about. But I wanted for Eva, and I know that this is a real thing, and I think the author may actually suffer from this, so, I could have like misunderstood or misheard or misread, but there's a lot of people who deal with like these debilitating migraines, that sometimes they can't get out of bed, or they have to take medication or injections and things like that for. And so Eva, she deals with this debilitating, illness with the migraines and things like that. And it all started like when she was younger. And I know that is like a lifelong thing that for people who suffer from that type of thing. But I don't know, like in the future, I had kind of wanted her to be past some of that. But therein lies the whole thing where you have reality, merging with fiction, because a lot of people don't get over it. But the chemistry between Shane and Eva, oh my God, off the charts. Just like it was in her last book, that with Perfect Fine, and it's so funny because from the Perfect Fine, there were some characters that made an appearance in this book. She she mentioned them. Oh my God, my little thing came out. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Jenna and Eric were the main characters in her last book, and they showed up at a party in this book. Look at this. Look at this. I normally don't do this on fiction books. I normally do this on like non-fiction books with some aha moments and quotes, but there was just so much in this book that, you know, when I talked about it, I didn't want, because I'm actually going to be doing a like a virtual book club type thing. So, you know, that's what the notes are really for. But yeah, the thing that was really cool, and I love how creative it was, where she talked about like, so they were both writers, so that pulled me in, and I was able to follow that storyline being a writer. But it's interesting how they both achieved some measure of success with their books and with their writing. So they were doing sequels and series or whatever, but their main characters, each one of them, now they hadn't seen each other in 15 years, right? But each one of them were writing main characters that were the other person. You know, so like in Eva's books, the main male character in her books, she had totally based that on Shane. All these years she had been having all the success with these series of books, and her main character was essentially Shane. And he had done the same in a book, you know, series that he'd done. It was Eva. That was the person he was writing about. So I thought that was pretty clever. The conversation that they had on the panel, they were on a panel talking about books, and that kind of came out. So I don't think it's a spoiler though, but yeah, it was just so good. I loved that they both had overcome a lot of the things, with the exception, you know, of Eva still having those debilitating headaches, but they had overcome a lot of the stuff that, you know, could have totally and easily destroyed them when they were younger, but they had, you know, made it to the other side, and their feelings were still there and just as intense and just as strong. Because, you know, a lot of times when you're younger, and then you're like with both of them, they were going through a lot of the same things, it would be easy to just chalk that up to being like, you know, puppy love or codependency or two damaged people clinging to each other. But even after the dust had settled and they were adults, the chemistry and energy and feelings were still there. And yeah, when this book ended, I was like low-key sad. I was like, oh no, one more page, one more chapter. So that tells you that's a mark of a good book. And I saw on her on Tia Williams' Instagram page, it has been picked up to become a movie or a TV show. I really can't see this being a TV show. I think that we just need to get it all out in one movie. So hopefully when they say TV, they just mean like Netflix or Hulu or a streaming service, that they're not talking about like a weekly series. But I mean, either way, I'll be tuning in. Yeah, so like I said, I mean, you know, I'm trying not to give spoilers. Will not do it because I just totally want everybody to read this book. But yeah, I'm just glad in the end that she chose to let them heal from their wounds and their dysfunction before allowing them to see each other and to, you know, kind of act on things and pick up where they left off. Some steamy scenes in here, very well written. Yes, very, very, very good read. I read it like in a day and a half. And I started off because it starts off kind of like, you know, like she's at this luncheon with some fans of her book. She writes paranormal, like vampire series, you know. And at first I was kind of like, okay, where is this going? Because it was weird, the whole setting where they were. But then it quickly, you know, picked up and like didn't lose steam, and I couldn't put it down. Yeah, so this was one of those books that I had, one of the first books I've read, you know, in a long time, that successfully deals with very serious, very dark, very heavy subjects, but then there's also humor. There's also romance, you know, and she blends them like seamlessly. So yeah, you should definitely check out 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. It doesn't disappoint. I mean, like seriously, they need to hurry up and make this a movie, or she needs to come out with a part two. I want to see these characters again. This is one of those books I might reread because it just really stuck with me for a while after I closed the book. So Tia Williams, 7 Days in June. If you've read the book, let me know what you thought in the comments, and make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel for future videos and updates. See you guys next week. Thanks.